What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're doing a quick reaction video because I have to get to work and leave in about 20 minutes. So really quick reaction video today. But UFC 323, the final pay-per-view of the year, the final actual pay-per-view maybe ever, just took place. And in the main event, big upset. Petr Yan defeats Merab Dvalishvili via dominant decision. The scorecards, I thought it should have been 50-45, but 49-46 times 2 and a 48-47. You really got to be looking like to give Merab rounds if you're giving him 2 of them. But crazy performance from Petr Yan, just schools Merab. Like, this was always, I mean, it was a possibility. Like, I'm surprised by it. I'm not going to come on here and be like, bro, I was like kind of thinking of picking Yan. Like, I picked Merab by 49-46 decision. I thought Petr Yan would win like either the first or second. And then I just thought it would look similar to the first fight. I was like, Yan, I haven't noticed like significant improvements in Yan's game, but no, maybe he was just that compromised going into that fight, because I don't think Merab has regressed. Merab didn't look worse than normal, in my opinion. He basically did what he always does, which is shoot a bunch of fucking takedowns. Now, I know in the post-fight interview he said, I wanted to stand face to face and make it an entertaining fight. He shot 26 takedowns. So if anyone if Kenny or some shit comes on here and is like, oh, why didn't, or if I see comments being like, oh, why didn't Merab grapple more? He shot 26 takedowns. This is not Bilal JDM, even though that argument was still stupid for that fight because Bilal shot 10. If someone shoots 25 takedowns, you cannot be like, oh, why didn't he grapple more? This was just Merab. He fought how he always does. Yan just stuffed all the takedowns, basically. Took Merab down as well, which he did do in the first fight. But he just kept on the pressure and just didn't gas out and just didn't... I think maybe the fact that he's fought Merab... I know we saw it in the O'Malley rematch. O'Malley actually looked worse and got finished easier. But maybe Yan fighting Merab again. Yan, as someone who normally has never had cardio problems, he's always a guy who builds later into fights. Maybe he just experienced that initial, like, just crazy pressure, crazy cardio, and he's like, alright, I know what I'm dealing with now. It's not that crazy. I can just, now I understand it. I understand it now type shit. And he just said, no, I'm just going to walk you down and just beat you up. He was hammering Merab to the body with kicks. Punches as well, hurt him to the body multiple times, fucked him up. Merab's face by the end of it was even more mashed up than it was going into the fight. But yeah, Petr Yan, he dumped him on his head at one point. Merab really didn't have a significant period of control. That's the thing. Yan, I'm kind of annoyed at myself for like being that. I'm not annoyed at myself for picking Merab, because like everyone picked Merab. If you did pick Yan, fair play. If you actually picked him. If you picked Yan, it was probably just like you just wanted him to win. But like, because there were no realistic logic to picking Yan going into this based off what we've seen, unless you just thought, oh, Merab's gonna be super compromised, coming off a short turnaround, coming off a busy schedule, and Yan's just gonna put it on him. Like, fair enough, but like, I don't think many people thought Yan was just gonna school him to a decision. But, I mean, good job. We saw, like, it's not impossible to win rounds against Merab. Like, it is very doable to outdo this guy in the first few. And Yan just had the trick of not gassing out late and just not getting completely ragdolled. Like, Sandhagen had a good amount of success. Umar had a good amount of success. Most people have a good amount of success. Like, Merab's win streak and his resume kind of makes it look like he's just this amazing dominant champion, which he is. But, like, the Sandhagen fight was 48-47, in my opinion. The Umar fight was 48-47. You subbed O'Malley. Even the first O'Malley fight, O'Malley actually stole some rounds off damage. So, in hindsight, it's like, I mean, maybe Merab is beatable. But, no, to be fair, I just got to give credit to Yan because he looked incredible. What do you do next? You probably do run it back right now. Like, Merab's earned that. He was going for history with 4 defenses in a row. Didn't get it. No worries. I mean, it's going to be tough on his legacy. Like I said in the pressure rankings video, this was a really crucial one for him to get, to build that, to keep building that legacy, especially as a rematch. But, I mean, he'll get the trilogy. It's 1-1. I'll pick Yan to win the trilogy, dude. Like, I mean, maybe Merab can do slightly better, but if Yan can perform remotely close to that... This fight wasn't particularly close, in my opinion. Like, Merab had a bit of success. I actually thought he should have spent more time striking, to be honest. Because the grappling just wasn't working, and it was optically looking better for Yan, who was just stuffing all of the shots. But when Merab just kind of grit down on the mouthpiece and just like moved forward. He actually had a bit of success. But nah, fair enough. Jan just schooled him completely. Anyway, let's move on to the co-main event. Yeah, fucking can't be asked, man. Pantoja, Van, dude, good job, Van. You won the belt. Like, there's not a win. I'm sorry. I love Van. It's not a win. If Van was good, this is the worst case scenario by a mile. Like, if Van was gonna win, I wouldn't have been mad. If Van fucking finished Pantoja and stuffed all his takedowns, I'd be like, damn, fucking, he's sick. I love Van, and I've picked him in all of his fights up to this. I thought Pantoja was gonna just be too much, take over, and he came out like he always does. It looked like we were in for an incredible fight. Pantoja comes out, fucking bum rushing him, spamming low kicks and stuff, like going crazy, throws a head kick. Van tips him over, posts on the ground, snaps his elbow. Fucking like it's just, that's not a result. Like genuinely, even people who picked Van, you don't want that as like they'll be like they'll try and cope and be like, oh, it was but Van caught, like they'll act like that's a win. That's not to get their pick right. That should be a void for everyone. As far as I'm concerned, I went 11-1 on picks. Obviously, I got the main event wrong, but I got that Guskov fight. That was a void as well for a draw, and I got this co-main event as a draw, or no contest, I should say, as well. So, yeah, pretty good night of picks, 11-1. I was going incredibly, and I actually, thank God, I cashed out. I had a $1 to win. Initially, it was $1 to win $690. After the Guskov draw, the value of it, just like the payout halved, I was like, okay, it was offering a cash out for like 120. I was like, do a cash out? I was like, no, Talbot's going to beat Cejudo. Sure enough, he does. And I was like, oh, fucking, I'm not confident in Tyra. Do I cash out? I was like, no, I'll just put a spare $20 on Moreno by decision and just take away a bit of the pain if that loses. Tyra wins. I'm like immediately cash. I look at the cash out offer. It's more than the potential return after the Guskov fight got cancelled or voided. And I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, cash that shit out and I can watch the main and co-main in peace. I did put like $80 on Pantoja after that, but that was from I profited 300 today. It could have been more if Pantoja had won, or if that had been a no contest officially, which like I know by the rules it's a TKO win for Van, but everyone knows that's a no contest. Like Pantoja, like if they put Van above Pantoja in the pound for pound rankings, I'm gonna have issues and I'm gonna send a bomb squad to the fucking UFC Apex, to the PI. Like I'm actually gonna have issues. But fair enough to Van. Run him. I'll do the matchmaking video tomorrow probably, but like just run him versus Tyra. Let Pantoja recover. I don't want Pantoja to come back in his next fight and just be completely like not there because his arm's just cooked. Like let him take time, let him heal. I'm really worried this is gonna fuck up his career though, because like dude, you're 35 recovering, turning 36 in April. Is he gonna be back in April? Like fucking doubtful 4-month turnaround. So put Van versus. I'd love to do it in Japan. Like if you did Van versus Tyra as like a fight night title fight main event in Japan, that would be incredible. But also you could chuck it as like the co-main event of a pay-per-view. Because I don't think Van Tyra main event's a pay-per-view right now. I wouldn't complain again. Well, they're not charging for them, so maybe they get a bit looser with like what they let headline stuff because they're not charging for it. But dude, chuck this on a fucking fight night in Japan. Like this would be dope. I know that would be favoring like Tyra, but like yeah, you don't. I'm sorry, you don't have a market in Myanmar. You're not doing a UFC fight night in Burma, Myanmar. That's not happening. But fair enough. Good job, Van. I would say like co-main on the March card, but they don't really do actual title fights co-maining on the BMF fights. You could have just turned it around in Australia because they're both Asians. That would have kind of worked, but we've just announced BSD versus Dan Hooker as the co-mainer for that card. But yeah, anyway, let's just move on. I'm just fucking pissed off. This ruined my day, honestly. I loved Jan winning. This just ruins the card for me, though. Let's speed through the rest of it, though. I picked Tatsuro Taira. He gets it done. This stoppage was very early, in my opinion. The last, like, the 3 of the 5 fights on the main card were really weird. The co-main event was just terrible. The first fight of the main card was a draw. And then this fight was a bit of an early stoppage. I still think Tyra was in a really dominant position, though, to, like, really badly hurt him. Like, this wasn't like he kind of caught him off balance, fluke knockdown, and then he gets stopped. Like, this was like, he was in a really dominant position. So, would he have won if he kept the position? Maybe. Tyra's back control is incredible. He's dangerous on the ground. He was struggling, like, a little bit to get it there in the first round. Moreno just kind of held a fucking triangle on him the whole time. But yeah, really, really good win for Tyra. Impressive. He should fight Van next. Cejudo Talbot. I'm speeding through this shit now. Someone's calling me. Cejudo Talbot. Talbot just tuned them the fuck up the whole time. Impressive. What else we got here? Guskov Yarn. I'm sorry, I can't talk about these fights for that much longer. I literally have to get to work in like 10 minutes. Guskov fumbled a knockout in round 2 when he dropped Yarn. Fight was a draw. I agreed with the decision. Manuel Torres killed Grant Dawson immediately. I picked Torres. I don't know why the odds were that wide. You cannot trust someone who got KO'd by Bobby Green. McKinney Duncan was an absolute fucking maniac fight. I picked Duncan. I was really worried he was about to get killed, and then he manages to grit through, come back, and get it done. With the submission, which I called perfectly. I also called Talbot decision perfectly, and I called what else did I called Torres KO, obviously. I also called Barber decision in the next fight. She got up kicked a few times illegally. That's whatever. She wins. Calm women's fight. I picked Ziam by decision. He is really good, dude. I've been telling you guys about Ziam. He fucked up Nazim Sadikov. He's one of the most dangerous fighters in the clinch right now. Like, he'll look really boring at moments, and then he'll lull you to sleep almost, and then it's like, bang, he just fucks you up with like an elbow or some shit. Anyway, though, let's move on. Next up, Marvin Vettori, Bruno Ferreira. Bruno just out-damaged. Dude, Marvin refuses to fight with any IQ. Like, dude, you've got a brick chin. Just throw output. And he's like, nah, let me fight at range and lose. Fucking idiot. I picked Bruno, though, so fair enough. I also called Jalen Turner by... I thought Ferreira was going to KO him. I called Turner by TKO. I knew he was going to fuck up Barboza immediately and kill him. And I also called Baranushki by KO. This fight was goofy as hell. Also, fuck Turner. Dude, do it to someone who's under 35 and not washed. Otherwise, you just quit your fucking career. But... what's it called? Baranowski versus Arslan was retarded. This fight was incredible. They just fucking slugged for like 2 minutes, and eventually Ebo just died. And then the first 2 fights I missed because I slept in, but I saw Tricoli got guillotined again, standing guillotine. These happened twice now. Yeah, lucky I didn't load up on Mansour by KO because he's been unreliable in the past, but probably a few people lost money on KO. And then Santos KO'd Naimov in the third. I assume he was just winning the fight up until then, but I didn't catch that fight either. Anyway, though, that is the card recap. Very quick one. I'm sorry, I got to get to work. I'll do the fights to make. I'll do a reaction to the Australia card as well, probably. I will also do a sort of early 2026 matchmaking video. I was going to do Australia matchmaking, but they've done it for me. They've already announced the card. But we've got a Texas fight night. We've got an Apex card, we've got a Mexico fight night, we've got a UK fight night, and we've got that Holloway card as well. So I'll matchmake some fights for all of those. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe, follow IG, Twitter, and goodbye.